Okay, so welcome again. Thank you all for being here. We're going to start on the back. And you can start in recline bound ankle pose. So bring the soles of the feet together and let the knees fall open out to the sides. Take a few moments to let your body settle into the floor. Feel your shoulders release down into the mat. And let your hands and lower arms be wherever is comfortable to you right now. Gently close the eyes when you feel ready. As you close the eyes, we begin to turn our focus and attention inward. Bring awareness into the body. Take a minute to notice how you are feeling physically this morning. What is your energy level like? Where do you notice sensations in the body? What does your body need from this movement practice this morning? And in asking that question, can you set an intention for yourself that will guide you through our postures today? And then start to notice the rise and fall of your breath. Watching your abdomen and rib cage gently expand and contract. And then make that conscious shift in your breath where you're drawing air into the lungs purposefully from a lower place. And more slowly releasing that breath, gradually guiding the air out of the body. Let your breath evolve to that slower pace, deeper sensation that you'll try and maintain throughout our posture practice. And the next time that you exhale, let's bring the knees back together to release this pose. Separate your feet about hip width apart with the knees bent and just pause here and notice how you feel in your hips right now. And then float the eyes open when you're ready. And we're going to come into Recline Pigeon Pose, crossing the right ankle to the left thigh muscle. Gently press that knee forward. See how that feels. And if you want a little bit more, then bring the legs in toward you, reach through the space and hold onto the back of the left thigh. If your hands don't comfortably clasp, you could use your strap to connect behind the thigh as well. It can be sort of in between from the first position with the foot down and using your hands to hold. It might feel nice to rock back and forth here a little bit, not only massaging the low back and sacrum, but that can also kind of bring some release into the hip as you're going deeper into the stretch and then backing away from it a little. Good, and then when you're ready to release, let go of the leg if you took it, uncross cross the right ankle and switch sides. Left ankle to the right thigh. Gently press the left knee forward and see how that feels. And you can stay there or bring the legs in, reach through the space and hold the back of the right thigh here. Adding some gentle rocking back and forth. And then when you're ready to release, let go of the leg if you took it and uncross the ankle. Good, let's grab our straps and take our hamstring release sequence. You can slide the left leg down on the mat and bring your right knee into the chest. And then lift up to place your strap around the ball of the foot. Lie back down and extend that leg upward toward the ceiling. Adjusting your grip on the strap so that your arms are straight. Pull tightly against the strap and draw the shoulders down to connect to the floor, while at the same time you push the ball of the foot upward against the strap, creating some tension and feedback down the back of your leg. Keeping that breath nice and deep. And then transfer the strap into the right hand only. We're going to take some movement as we go into this second variation of the pose. So with your breath, you're going to inhale and open the right leg out to the side, and then exhale, bring it right back up. We're going to take that a few times. Inhale, open the leg, finding more range of motion. Exhale, return. Again, inhale out to the side. Exhale, return. And this time we're going to inhale out to the side and stay here. Continuing with that slow, deep breath. So we just find the edge of our hip opening here this morning. Trying to keep the leg nice and straight as well. Still pressing the foot against the strap. And on a strong exhalation, return the leg to the first position, then change hands. So your left hand is going to take the strap, the right arm can relax to the floor, and now cross the leg over your body any amount. And we're going to just hold here, opening up the outer hip and lengthening the IT band. And then on an inhalation, lift the leg back up, and exhale, bend the knee and remove the foot, and release the right leg to the ground. Good, adjust your hips if you need to, just pause and notice how that feels compared to the left side. And then we'll switch, bringing the left knee into the chest, right leg is active on the ground. Place your strap around the foot, and lie back down once you have it, extending that leg. Good, pull against your strap, grounding the shoulders to the mat. Press the ball of the foot upward against it, creating some good tension around the surface of the strap. Noticing how the left hamstrings feel. And then take your strap in your left hand only, keeping that grip nice and tight. We'll take the hip opening with some movement first. Inhale to open the leg out to the side, and then exhale to bring it back up. Again, inhale, open out to the side, exhale, return. Once again, inhale, out to the side, exhale, return. And this time we're going to stay. Inhale out to the side, keep the leg here, and breathe deeply. Anchoring the right side of your body to the mat. And on a strong exhalation, bring the leg back up and then change hands. And then cross your leg over toward the right side of the mat, any amount until you feel a strong sensation down the outer hip and outside of the thigh, maybe down into the calf muscle even. And then the next time you inhale, bring that leg back up to the center. And exhale, bend the knee. Remove the strap. You can put that aside and release the leg to the floor. Adjust your hips if you need to. Just notice how everything feels. Hopefully you feel nice and balanced. All right, I'll have you find your block now. Last thing that we're going to do on the back. Let's bend the knees, planting the feet on the floor, and place that block on either the skinniest or the medium width in between the knees, depending on how it feels in your hips, so you can choose. Gently squeeze that block so it doesn't drop, and bring the knees into your chest. And just notice how your back flattens into the ground when the knees come close. Let's open the arms out to the side in a T position with the palms facing up. And as we get into this, if it's feeling a little challenging or you feel any strain in your back or your neck, you could bring your arms down and grab the edges of your mat instead. But let's start with the arms open and see how it goes. So lift your feet up a little bit so you've got about a 90-degree bend in the knees. Still squeezing that block. Move your knees away from your rib cage until you start to feel the natural arch return to your lower back and that the abdominals begin to engage and are challenged here. And so even though you're now having to work in your abdominals, make sure that you're still breathing. You just won't feel that same release of the lower abdominals when you inhale since they're working. So you need to think about expanding more in the rib cage, a little bit of a higher breath to compensate for being very active in the lower abdominals. Good, when you're ready to release, bring the knees into the chest, hug your arms around the legs, maybe rock a little bit back and forth, just releasing the low back. You're going to take this again, arms out to the side or grabbing the edges of your yoga mat if that was too intense. Lift your feet up so you've got about a 90-degree bend in the knees. And then move your thighs away from your upper body until you find that point where your normal arch is in the low back and your abdominal wall is challenged, so you have to now engage. So contract through your core to hold this position while still breathing. Gently squeezing the block so there's a little activity in your inner thighs and hip flexors. Good, the next time you exhale, bring it in, release, hug the arms around the legs, rock back and forth a little bit. Good, the last time we do this, we're gonna add that gentle rocking side to side, so using a twisting motion to engage the sides of your abdominals, the oblique muscles and the intercostals and the ribs. So we start the same way. So lift the feet so there's a 90-degree bend. Gently squeeze the block and move the knees away from you until you find that challenging point. And then with your breath, you're going to inhale and drop the legs to the right side, but don't let them totally touch the ground. Then exhale to help you bring the knees back to the center. And then inhale the knees over to the left without touching the ground. Exhale back to the center. So take that a few times on your own. And the key to this one is keeping the legs in that distant position. So when you come back to the center, try to avoid bringing the legs closer to your upper body. We're going to keep them in that challenging place so that the abdominal wall is working and engaged as we're rocking back and forth. See if you can take one more to each side. And then bring the knees in. Get rid of the block this time. Plug the arms around the legs and just rock a little bit side to side, or turn the knees around in some circles if you like. Good, and then place the feet down about hip width apart. Lay your arms down by your sides, and then lift your hips and spine up just for a low bridge pose. Doesn't have to be a huge back bend. Just want to stretch the hip flexors here, since that core sequence really contracts the hip flexors. You want to just balance things out and find a little length here before you move on. One more breath in, and exhale, roll your spine back down. Good, we're gonna rock along the spine to come upright, so bring the knees into the chest, and take the knees toward your face with a little momentum, and then rock up your spine and back down. Taking 3 or 4 of these. And on your last one, give enough momentum to rock yourself all the way up off of your back. Good, once you're upright, let's come forward into table pose. We'll take a few rounds of spinal waves. So once you're here, begin by inhaling, lifting the tailbone, chest, and chin, and exhaling, tucking the tailbone and the chin, and again, inhale, and exhale. Just continuing on at your own pace here, warming up the spine. And the next time you exhale through the rounded back, that can be your last one. And return to a neutral table pose. Walk your knees back about half a foot, bend your elbows, and exhale to the ground, lowering your body. Point your toes, loop the shoulders back, and then inhale, rise up to a low or a high cobra. We'll take a few breaths here just to stretch the front of the abdomen, helping to release from that core activation. One more breath in, and exhale, let it go. Inhale, press back up to your knees. Exhale, rock the hips back, and then up into the air for downward facing dog. Good, spread the fingers widely apart. Let your head and neck release as you lift the hips nice and high. And feel free to pedal the legs if you like, rocking the hips back and forth. Just waking up the calf muscles, lengthening through the Achilles tendon. Good, and then look forward on your next breath in. As you breathe out, step up to your hands. Once you're there, take the hands to your shins. Inhale to the flat back position. Exhale and fold over your legs. Let's hang here for a few breaths, feeling your spine lengthen down, the head and neck releasing. And then when you're ready to stand, we're going to inhale, open the arms, rise all the way up, and exhale, release the arms, finding mountain pose. Good, we're going to take a few rounds of sun salutations, so make sure you're toward the front of your mat and you've got room to step back. On your next breath in, raise the arms up and overhead, and then as you breathe out, fold forward. Inhale to the flat back position. Exhale and walk to plank pose. Take a deep breath in and exhale, slowly lower. Inhale. One more breath in, look forward. And then as you breathe out, step to the hands. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, open the arms, rise up to stand. Exhale, release, mountain pose. Second round, inhale, reach up. Exhale, dive forward. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, walk to plank. One breath in. Exhale, slowly lower. Inhale, up dog or cobra. Exhale, down dog. Good, let your neck release. Press evenly through all 10 fingers. Lots of space between them. One more inhalation, look forward. And exhale, step to the hands. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise up, reaching overhead. Exhale, release. Two more rounds. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, dive forward. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, step to plank. Good, nice and strong through your core here. Inhale, and exhale, slowly lower. Inhale, up dog or cobra. Exhale, down dog. Stay here and breathe. One more inhalation, look forward, and exhale, step to the hands. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise up, reaching overhead. Exhale, release the arms. Last round. Inhale, reach tall. Exhale, fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, step to plank. One breath in. Exhale, slowly lower. Inhale, up dog or cobra. Exhale, down dog. Really connect through the balls of the feet and the palms. Feel your hips lift upward. One more breath in, look forward. Exhale, step to your hands. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise up, reaching overhead. Exhale, and release your arms. Good, take a few breaths here, just standing mountain pose, noticing how the energy feels in the body after completing those rounds of sun salutations. Try and slow down your breath. Feel your shoulders melt down. Good, and once the breath feels a little slower, you can relax the posture in your arms and legs. And I'm gonna have you find your blocks. We're gonna come into a standing pose sequence, going back and forth between triangle pose, warrior two, and reverse warrior two. So I use blocks to support my handed triangle. I'm gonna have them on the left side of the mat. And let's first just find the stance for triangle. So left foot forward, big step back with the right foot, and increase the distance here. And ideally, the distance between the legs is going to be the same for triangle as in warrior two. If you need to make little adjustments here and there, that's fine. And then draw that imaginary line from your front heel to the arch of the back foot. And that'll help you get your best balance and also the correct hip alignment. So let's open the arms out to the side, starting with straight legs. Engage your thighs. Lean your hips toward the back of your mat and lean your upper body toward the front of your mat, really reaching. And then pivot your arms, taking the left hand down to your blocks and the right arm up toward the ceiling, or the right hand can come to the hip if the shoulder feels a little tight. Good, keep squeezing every muscle in the legs and root down through your feet. With a strong exhalation, contract your abdominal wall and lift back upright. Good, rotate your head so you're looking over your front fingers, and now bend deeply into your front knee for Warrior Two pose. So again, the feet should be kind of right where you need them because the stance is the same, but if you need to go closer or wider, just make little adjustments so that you feel stable here. Get down nice and low in that front leg. Feel the thigh bone get parallel to the floor if you can. Good, keep that slow, deep breath moving in and out of the body. And then we're going to keep the legs as they are, reverse the arms. Right hand comes down to the back leg, left arm reaches up. And then as you exhale, lean back a little if you can, taking the left arm over your face to deepen that side stretch in reverse Warrior Two. On another strong exhalation, contract your abdominal wall and return to Warrior Two. Good, straighten your front leg, relax the arms. Good, rotate the left foot in, and then just heel toe your feet until you can step together. Good, all right, let's take that for the other side. So your blocks are gonna go on the right side of your mat if you're using them. Right foot forward, big step back with the left foot, increasing the distance so you have a long enough stance, and an imaginary line connects your front heel to your back arch. Good, both legs start straight for triangle, engage the thighs, open the arms about shoulder height, and lean your hips to the back of your mat and your upper body to the front of your mat. Reaching, reaching, reaching. And then right arm down, hands on the blocks, left arm up, or left hand at the hip. Good, feel your rib cage revolve. The left side draws back so that your abdomen is open to the side of your mat. Keep that strong energy in both legs. And on a strong exhalation, contract your core and rise back up. Then bend your front knee deeply for Warrior Two. Try and get that thigh bone parallel to the floor if you can. Back leg is still strong and straight. Excuse me. And then the legs will stay as they are. Bring your left hand down to the back leg and the right hand up toward the ceiling. And as you exhale, see if you can lean back a bit for reverse Warrior Two, taking the right arm over your face, deep side stretch. And on a strong exhalation, return to Warrior Two, and then straighten your front leg, relax the arms, turn that foot in, and now we're going to take a wide-legged forward fold. So we're going to keep the feet as wide as they are, bring your hands to your waist, squeeze the shoulders and elbows back. When you're ready, lean your hips back and your upper body forward, folding right down the center of the hips, letting your head and neck release. And then you can bring your hands to the floor. If they don't reach the floor, then just Reach over for those blocks where they were outside of your right foot. You can take them and use them under your hands if you like. Let your neck completely release. So feel the weight of your head draw down toward the floor. And then we're going to come to the flat back position. Inhale and lift your head and chest. Walk your hands or blocks forward so your spine is parallel to the floor. Good. From here, look over at the front of your mat. Turn that foot forward for me, it's my left foot. Walk your hands over to the front of the mat and end up in a lunge position here. So a deep bend in your left knee. And then let's bring your right knee down to the mat so we're in a low lunge. We'll take both arms inside of the front foot and move the front foot over a little to the side, taking our wide lunge variation. Turn that foot out at a slight angle and let the knee and thigh drop away from your shoulder here. You can stay up on your hands or your fists, or you can bring your elbows down to some blocks or the floor. And if it feels good, some rocking back and forth in the hips can help free things up if there's any resistance. As you go deeper into the stretch, and then you draw away from it, giving the muscles a chance to soften. You can stop that rocking motion, and if you're down on your elbows, come back up to your hands. Good. From here, inch the foot even farther to the side so it just comes off of your mat. Plant your palms shoulder width apart for plank pose. Tuck your back toes under and lift that knee nice and high. And then from here, step your left foot back and find plank. Good. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, lower all the way to the ground. Once you're there, point the toes. Draw the shoulders back and come into a high Cobra pose and take a few breaths here. Expanding through the abdominal wall, opening across your chest. On an exhalation, roll your body down, tuck your toes and inhale, press up to the knees. Exhale back and up into downward facing dog. Just take a moment here and notice the difference between the right and left sides of the body. Feel free to move a little bit, rocking the hips, pedaling the legs. And then we'll just come into that lunge for the other side of the body directly from here. So look forward and step your right foot up in between the hands and bring your back knee down to the floor. Good. Take both arms inside of the front foot. Move that foot over just a little bit. Turn it out to the side. And then let your knee and thigh fall out to the side as well. Good. Stay here. Notice how this feels. You can bring your elbows down the blocks or the ground if you want a little more sensation. Or stay up on the hands or fists if you've got enough. Good. Take that little rocking side to side if that feels good. Just shifting your weight in the hips back and forth. All while breathing continuously and deeply. And then if you're down on your elbows, come on back up to your hands. You can stop that rocking motion. And let's move the foot out to the side a little more until it's just off of the mat. Plant your palms shoulder width apart and lift that back knee nice and high. And on an exhalation, step back, find plank. One breath in, exhale, slowly lower all the way down. Inhale, come into a high cobra and hold here a few breaths. The next time you exhale, roll down. Inhale, push up to the knees. Exhale, rock back and lift up into downward facing dog. Take 5 deep breaths here. And after those 5 breaths, bring your knees gently to the floor and come into child's pose. Taking the knees a bit wider than the hips. Settle back down onto your heels. And let your upper body release. Feeling the shoulders and arms relaxed. You can close the eyes. And just notice the energy in your body right now. Try and slow down your breathing rate. And then float the eyes open when you're ready and lift yourself up to sit back on the heels for a moment. And I'm going to have you grab one of your blocks and we're going to use it just as an assist in forearm plank and in dolphin pose. So I'm going to take the block on the wide position and on the lowest setting at the front of the mat. And you're going to place your forearms and elbows down and you're just going to grab the edges of that block with your forearms. It might be easier actually on the medium height because then you have a narrower edge of the block to grab. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do. It's on the wide facing angle, but on the medium height, so I can really grab the block. So elbows and forearms are down, parallel to each other. Glide the shoulder blades back, and then step your legs back and come into forearm plank. And I'm really squeezing the block with the hands to get some extra strength from my arms and shoulders. Squeeze the legs together and engage the core, trying to bring the hips level with the upper back. Three more breaths here. And then bring the knees down. Just take a moment to rest again in child's pose, letting your arms and shoulders relax. Good, we're going to take that once more. So lift up your elbows and forearms on the mat, shoulder width apart, parallel. And then just grab the sides of the block here with your hands, nice tight grip. Feel your shoulder blades glide back away from your ears and then step your legs back and find forearm plank pose. Drawing the hips down level with the upper back, squeezing the legs together. Good, bring the knees down and take a rest again in child's pose. If you like, you can wrap your arms around the legs this time in child's pose to give the shoulders just a different shape and an opportunity to kind of melt down, broadening the upper back. Good, and then lift yourself up again. We're now going to come into Dolphin Pose, and I'm going to knock the block down to its lowest position this time. And it's still the on the wide setting, not the narrow. So it's on its lowest position. Elbows and forearms are going to come to the floor, and this time the palms will be flat on the mat. And I'm just going to bring them so that the little webbing between the thumb and index finger just lines up with the corners of the block here on each side. So it's going to help you keep your thumb and index finger kind of in an L shape and prevent the hands from coming any closer together in Dolphin. So press the elbows into the mat, glide your shoulder blades back, tuck the toes, and then lean your hips back like you're about to do child's pose, and then lift the knees and hips up into the air, coming into Dolphin, pressing strongly against the forearms and elbows. Take several deep breaths, and if you need a rest at any point, just touch the knees down, and you can return to the pose whenever you feel ready. Good, if you're still here, the next time you exhale, bring the knees to the mat. Just take a rest either just there or sitting back fully into child's pose. And we're going to take that one last time. So when you're ready, lift up, elbows and forearms on the mat. Your palms are flat and the corners of the blocks are wedged right into that space between your thumb and index finger. When you're ready, glide your shoulder blades back toward your hips, tuck the toes, press your hips back, and then up into the air, finding Dolphin. If you're still here, take 3 more breaths. And then release, bring the knees down. Last time in child's pose, and if you like, wrap the arms around the legs so the hands rest by your feet. And I sometimes in this version of child's pose just like to turn my head down to one side instead of having the forehead on the mat. I find that more comfortable for my neck. So you can see how that feels. And when you're ready to come out, take your hands in front of your knees and press yourself up to sit back on your heels for a moment. If this is not a comfortable way for you to sit, then you can take a supported cross-legged seat. Just want to do a little shoulder release here. So just start by rolling the shoulders a few times, creating some small circles. You can change the direction of that. Good, and then open your arms out to the side. Exhale and sweep the hands behind you, interlacing the fingers, or you can use a strap to connect your hands. Roll your shoulder blades back to open your chest, and then gently extend the arms behind you, reaching the fists down toward the ground. Sit up nice and tall, breathing into the ribcage and chest. And if it feels okay, you can lift the arms up away from your hips a little bit, creating some space between your fists and your back. Keep your head upright if you're doing this. Make sure that your neck feels loose. You should be able to move your head. One more deep breath in. And then exhale, let it go. Good, let your hands just rest in your lap. Feel your shoulders release. Good, and then from here, we're going to take a few seated poses to finish. And if you'd like, you can elevate your hips. I'm going to use a folded blanket for mine. And we're going to take nose to knee pose. So we're going to straighten the left leg forward. Fold the right knee out to the side and bring the sole of that foot to the inside of your left thigh. And if you've got your strap nearby, we'll use that as an assist here. Throw the strap forward and connect it around the ball of the left foot. Hold it with a tight grip, just like we do in our hamstring sequence lying down the back. Sit up nice and tall to try and lengthen your spine. And then drop your chin toward your chest. Gently pull against your strap to help guide your upper body forward and down over the straight leg, just little by little. And then you can reach your hands forward and just hold farther down the strap, or if your hands meet the foot, you can hold the back of the heel here. When you're ready to come out, inhale and roll up. And we'll switch sides. Straighten your right leg forward. Fold your left knee out to the side. Bring the sole of the foot to the inner thigh. And toss your strap forward so it connects around the right foot. Good. Hold it with a tight grip. Pull against it to sit up really tall, lengthening the spine. And drop your chin to the chest. Gently pull against your strap and start to fold forward, little by little with your breath. And then re-extend your arms, holding farther down the strap or connecting with your foot. When you're ready to come out, inhale and rise up. Good, you can remove the strap. Let's straighten the left leg forward and now bend the right knee in toward your upper body. And then place the foot on the outside of the left thigh. So hug the bent knee toward you. We're going to take our seated twist here. Raise your right arm up and inhale, and then twist to the right as you exhale and put that hand down just behind you, gripping the bent knee in nice and close to your upper body. You can bring it into the bend of the elbow if you like. Feel your twist evolve with your breath, sitting up taller as you inhale and rotating as you exhale. One more breath in, and exhale, unwind. Good, switching sides, right leg forward, bend your left knee in toward you, and then cross that foot just to the outside of your straight leg, sitting up nice and tall. Raise your left arm and inhale, exhale, twist to the left, put that hand down just behind you, and hug the bent knee in nice and close to your upper body, maybe gripping it with the forearm and elbow. One more breath in. And exhale, unwind. Good, unfold the leg. And then let's come down to the back now and rest in Shavasana. Get yourself nice and comfortable on the floor. And once you feel settled here, gently close your eyes. Let your shoulders melt down into the mat. Feel your fingers and toes soften. Feel every major muscle and joint release any lingering active energy, melting into the ground. Take one final deep inhalation and exhale through the mouth, letting go of that breath now. Inviting your natural breath to return to the body as you let go of that focus and concentration. attention back to the surface and lengthen your breath. And in your own time, begin to move a little bit in your body in whatever way feels good to you. Let that eventually lead you to roll over, curling up on one side of your body in fetal pose. And just pausing there briefly to notice how you feel right now. What did your body take away from this practice today? And with as little effort as possible, come back upright to a comfortable seat, keeping the eyes closed. Once you're upright, find that tall energy in your spine again. Take a few deep cleansing breaths. And then you can bring the palms together in front of your heart center, and we'll end practice by chanting Om one time. Taking a deep breath in. Om. And exhale, gently bow your head in a gesture of gratitude to your body for all the support and strength it gives you throughout the day. And thank you all so much for being here again this morning. I hope you enjoyed this practice today and enjoy the beautiful sunshine. Hope to see you again next week. Thank you.